Hello, everybody, and welcome to ZTV Live. I'm Susan Mulligan Fleischman, here with the latest good news in Alexandria. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020. The City of Alexandria sends out a nightly email to apprise residents on the latest developments regarding COVID-19. Residents are urged to continue staying at home, as per today's latest directive. If you must go out, please maintain 6 feet of distance around others and wear your face mask. Alexandria and its health department announced today that testing for the coronavirus will take place Monday, May 25th at 2 locations in the city from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Testing is free for anyone over the age of 2. The primary purpose for these events is to test community members who have not been tested previously. Everyone who chooses to attend is asked to wear a face covering. These events will not require doctor referrals, appointments, or identification. For full details, see the story on the zebra.org website. Also this week, United Community began a mobile food distribution program as the need for food is greater than ever. The lines at the headquarters on Fortson Road keep growing, and some families are unable to travel there. So last month, United Community began partnering with Alexandria Neighborhood Health to deliver food to families who have tested positive for the coronavirus. Neighborhood Health is one of the few health providers that offers testing for families without health insurance. Again, for more details, please visit thezebra.org. And we reported last night that Alexandria Public Schools has now begun accepting kindergarten registration online as of today, May 20th. I wanted to specify that that also includes any registration for new students as well as incoming kindergartners. For these and all the latest developments in the news in Alexandria, please visit thezebra.org regularly as we update stories and add new ones every day. So tonight we're excited to welcome our Tech Talk with Councilwoman Amy Jackson. Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi, good, Susan. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you.
Great. Thanks for having me here again. I appreciate the Zebra always having me on and giving the community some information that I think they'd like to hear. So tonight we have, I'll let you do the honors and then I'll talk to
I
myself.
was going to say, okay. Thank you so much. We're so happy that you come on our show to give this wonderful information to all of our viewers and keeping everybody apprised. It's regarding the Virginia Tech new property up in Alexandria. So I will actually let you take it away and you can introduce your guest. And thank you again so much for coming on ZTV to give us all this information.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So tonight, we're going to have the chance to speak about Virginia Tech, and David Baker is here, Government and Community Affairs Liaison for Virginia Tech, and it's just going to be open mic night, really, for a lot of questions that I know I have. Full disclosure, I am a Hokie, first and foremost a Titan, and then I became a Hokie. So of course, I'm loving it that this has happened in my lifetime, because education is key, obviously, to the future, and so excited that we have such a progressive, innovative chance to talk with someone from Virginia Tech, and I know this will open a lot of doors to have other conversations with others in key roles at Virginia Tech Innovation Campus. So David Baker, welcome. So excited that you are here.
Thank you, Amy, and to Susan. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight, and really excited about the opportunity to share some information about the campus. We're making some great progress, so hopefully you've been tuning in and seeing the news, but let's get everybody up to speed.
Absolutely. So we'll just dive right in. Of course, the biggest question is we have several big questions, but one of them is, why Alexandria? We have an amazing, as you know, university system here in Virginia. And so I always think, wow, the pride that Virginia Tech was able to be the ones that are coming to Northern Virginia, to the city of Alexandria. So I'll leave it to you to share some history about how this is coming about.
Sure. Thanks, Amy. So we have to take a few steps back and go back to the start of Amazon's big announcement when they announced their plans for a second headquarters and doing a hemisphere-wide search for where that second headquarters should be. And when they put out the RFP, the state pulled together all of the outstanding public universities from across the Commonwealth and said, who has a great idea? Because what they kept seeing numerous times throughout the RFP process was that Amazon was really looking for a location that could provide world-class talent. That was going to be a major deciding factor for them. And so the state, through the Economic Development Authority and our elected officials in Richmond, had the foresight to bring everybody together and say, does anybody have a big idea that they could throw out that we could potentially incorporate into this proposal to attract Amazon? And President Sands raised his hand and said, we have a great idea. And it's something we had on a 20-year time horizon. But if the state's willing to partner with us and invest in this project and bring it to fruition, then we're all in. And the rest is history. We never looked back. And so we have been in lockstep with the state for coming on 150 years, but in this process since day one. And when Amazon made the decision to locate in Arlington, we were right there with them. And then how we got to Alexandria specifically, Virginia Tech has had a presence in the city of Alexandria dating back almost 40 years. Our Graduate School of Architecture, what we call the Washington Alexandria Architecture Center, is located on Prince Street. My office, where I'm joining you from tonight, is at 601 Prince Street. And so we have had a great presence here in the city of Alexandria for many, many years. So it was just a no-brainer when this opportunity presented itself. And we've been thrilled to grow our presence here.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. So we are looking forward to many more things to come. Let me ask you this. I know we met, I believe November of 2018 is when the big announcements were coming forth, right? From Amazon and Virginia Tech in that time period. I know, I believe our election had just happened like the week before, honestly. And so, of course, and I'll never forget the conversation with Stephanie Landrum because she's our AEDP president, our exec. And she's also a UVA grad. So she knew she was talking to someone that this was going to make extremely happy and thrilled to be part of the partnership as it was getting all meshed out. So here's the thing that always struck me. That happened in late 2018, and to follow the timeline, you joined Boots on the Ground here in Alexandria and the region, David, about it was early 2019, right? Because I remember seeing you. I think the first time I was trying to think back, and I think it was at an Alexandria Chamber of Commerce event over right off of King Street in Old Town near Theismann's, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was so exciting to meet you. That was I mean, you're representing something near and dear to my heart. But this is the question. When we had 40 years here in the city already with our architecture programs and also over in the Falls Church area, some dual programs over there, Virginia Tech and UVA. Here you are already immersing yourself in, honestly, the city of Alexandria's culture, right? We are engaged in our community. We are present. We like to go out. We like to socialize. So you knew immediately how do I start talking about Virginia Tech? How do I start getting people excited about the Innovation Campus? But the thing is with honestly, as you just said, a world-renowned name like Virginia Tech, why would you have to feel like you would need to promote this?
Sure.
So, yeah.
Thanks, Amy. So going back, I have the honor and the privilege of being the first employee to be hired by Virginia Tech associated with the Innovation Campus. And it's been a job of a lifetime and a great opportunity for me. I'm a lifelong Northern Virginian. I lived in Alexandria. I still live in Alexandria, just over the line in Fairfax County now, but was living in the city. I know. I'm sorry. Need a little more space, but it happens to the best of us.
It does.
But anyway, but this has always been home for me. So this was a job and an opportunity that was near and dear to my heart, and an opportunity to help the university really plant a seed. And to your point, yes, they have had a presence here for 40 years. The hard part is when the focus is on graduate education and you don't see undergraduate students roaming about all the time. It's easy to forget that we have a presence here. And really, as I got to know Virginia Tech, I'm not a Hokie. I'm an adopted Hokie now, but as I've learned about Virginia Tech, we have a presence. The university has a presence in every city and county in Virginia, whether that be a campus or an extension or a graduate office, because through our land grant mission and our agricultural extension program, we have to be a little bit of everywhere. And so it's a great opportunity. And so as I came on board and started learning about all of the great things that Virginia Tech is doing all across the Commonwealth, I knew there was a need to get out there and share some of that good news with people in the city of Alexandria, because every person I met, I think, you knew about it, obviously being a Hokie, but the vast majority of people that I met had no idea that Virginia Tech had a presence outside of Blacksburg. And so it's just been a great educational opportunity to let people know about the good things we're already doing, and then how this new campus will further elevate that mission.
Well, and that's a great segue to what I'd like to talk about next, which is last September, I believe. Well, first of all, I'll start there. September, I know city officials, public leaders were invited down to Virginia Tech to get a taste of being impressed by the campus and the programs that it offered. I know we started out on a tour. I was one of the ones that went. I think I was the only council member that went. And we had a tour of in Roanoke. It started at Carilion, and saw a lot of their labs there, and the innovations, the initiatives that they're coming up with in the health field, and then went down to Blacksburg, and we were trying drones. We listened to Dr. Sands, of course, was there and presented to us as the president, and went over a lot of question answer things. And then we went to the helmet lab to look at, what do they do? How do they use technology to make sure, that we minimize concussions and things like that. We went to I call it the space lab. But a lot of innovation that was down there, and I don't want to miss anything. Oh, because the major thing was I got to ride in a Tesla across a very short span bridge at 60 seconds going, almost 200 miles an hour. Amazing. So I know we were invited to go see these things, to come back and be the Pied Pipers and say, this could be ours. This is going to be ours. And I know it's all about computers, computer engineering, computer science, and how these things are now the foundation of basically all programs now at any university. But Virginia Tech has the leg in here to say, okay, after you finished at a 4-year college, How about a master's in a regional program? So how do you see all the innovation coming here, and how is it going to benefit us? And honestly, how is it going to be a something that we're going to have to go against the grain in a lot of areas?
Sure. So going back, that was a great trip we had with you last October and a number of folks from the city of Alexandria. And we welcome those kinds of opportunities again to bring others down to Blacksburg to see firsthand some of the innovation that's taking place there. But it's also an opportunity to show them the potential that has to come here. What makes Virginia Tech unique and truly a world-class research institution is our focus on the human-centered approach and the human interaction, the human element of technology. So we have a lot of great schools around the country and around the world that are focused on the hard sciences of computer science and computer engineering, and that's tremendously valuable. And we have those skill sets here as well. But Virginia Tech's unique take on it is, how does it interplay across every discipline and get into basically everyone's mind and household and the way we live our lives? And we have a lot of world-class researchers that are studying that from numerous angles. So whether it's autonomous cars and how they behave with traditional human drivers on the road, to drone systems that have to interact in airspace with human pilots, to everything that artificial intelligence brings to the table. And so we have all of that taking place in Blacksburg. Some of that will migrate up here, but with the Innovation Campus, but it also creates a new space, right, for those new emerging technologies and those new leaders and researchers in the innovation space to chart that uncharted territory. And so our mission at this point is to develop the facilities that have the bare infrastructure to get them where they need to go, and then they have the opportunity to come in and influence the design and the space to really make it world-class and achieve what they hope to achieve.
And again, we're excited, and I know so many. I mean, I'm excited about the progressiveness and innovation that is going to actually be created. I mean, nothing like we've ever seen is about to happen. I mean, of course, after the situation that we're all in right now, I mean, we can only, this is a jumping off point for so many reasons. So as you were just discussing about the building itself, we have seen the designs. They're on the Virginia Tech website if anyone wants to give a look. And I know we have a couple here now also. But the design, so here I must say again, we were, before children, we were season ticket football ticket holders, and we ended up being what's called golden Hokies. So I look at this building and I say, well, that's a whole other way of thinking about a golden Hokie, is this particular building now.
Sure.
So it might have that connotation at this point, not just as that type of ticket holder at Tech, but I can't imagine, again, the pros and cons that I know you've had a few, I believe 3 or 4 community meetings, community outreach, where the community has been invited to, probably virtually now at this point, to ask questions, to be engaged, to go, okay, does it have to look like that? Could it look like something else? Why did the architects come up with this? And but also, for as much as it is so modern and bright, I believe that it will also take on a very energized view. But it has the Hokie stone, I believe, as part of the foundation. So I don't know if you could talk a little bit about the process that you went through in Northern Potomac Yard. I know it's part of phase 1. 3 buildings out of the 9, I believe, that is part of phase 1. So I'll let you handle all the technical stuff, and how the community is so far relating to this and accepting it or not, and hopefully they are, and how you've also brought tradition and history into playing a part in this region with the Hokie Stone, and what Hokie Stone is. You might want to explain that if you know.
I'm not a geologist, so I can't go into Hokie Stone, but it is a limestone that is quarried down in the Blacksburg area and is used for anybody that's been to Blacksburg and seen our traditional Gothic architecture down there. That is Hokie Stone, and that building, that particular building material is incorporated into every Virginia Tech building across the Commonwealth, and the Innovation Campus is no exception. So while, Amy, to your point, it will be very modern and has a lot of exciting features, we also, it's core to our mission that we incorporate that Hokie Stone so that every Hokie feels connected to this new campus. In terms of the process to getting there, we started with a public RFP process to recruit an architecture and engineering firm to help us design that first building about a year ago. And so they've been working as quickly as they possibly can, given that Virginia Tech is a state institution and we have so many terrific architects that are Hokies and come out of Virginia Tech's architecture program. We wanted to give everybody a shot at this project because everybody was excited about it. And so we received a tremendous outpouring of interest and responses to that RFP process. We ultimately chose to move forward with a group called Smith Group, which has done educational buildings all across the country, all across the world. They've designed buildings down at our Blacksburg campus before, so we have a relationship with them, and they've been outstanding. And you see the work that they've been able to produce. One of the core elements and one of the pressures we put on them was that we want to strive to be as sustainable as possible. That is important to the city of Alexandria. That's important to Virginia Tech. As U.S. News and World Report puts out a survey every year and does a report on most sustainable universities. Virginia Tech is in the top 15 universities nationwide when it comes to sustainability. And so that's really important to us. And so it had to meet some of those strict criteria. And so that's why you see the very modern futuristic building that you see there. And the other piece that was really important to us, what's really unique about that piece of property where we are in Potomac Yard, is it's right where the Potomac River and 4 Mile Run intersect. And there's a lot of great natural area, a lot of habitat for birds and migrating animals that are in that area. So we wanted to bring nature into the campus. And we also wanted to make sure that the community had the opportunity to really enjoy and take advantage of that space. So you won't see a traditional walled campus, ivy-colored academic building that you might be familiar with. We wanted it to be as open and accessible to as many people as possible, because we feel that's where innovation happens best. When you bring people and allow people from all different walks of life the chance to just coincidentally run into each other in a beautiful natural setting, that's where ideas spark. And that's the innovation piece.
And as we know, part of that space also is the Potomac Yard Metro that will hopefully be a great way for commuters to come and go. And of course, I believe it's only about 2 miles just south of Arlington and the Amazon main facility. So we have a lot of regional players in this, and of course the commuting will bring others from around other states. I mean, Maryland and DC also will be able to come and use this facility as well.
Sure. Yeah, we hope to attract students from all over the world, to be perfectly honest, but regionally, having the metro less than a quarter of a mile from where the campus will be located opens the doors to folks who are considering pursuing a master's degree or starting a PhD degree. It gives them more opportunity and more flexibility, and we hope they choose Virginia Tech.
So Well, and that being said, how has COVID-19 played a part in the timeline of this, right? Where the groundbreaking is supposed to be in 2021, doors opening hopefully 2024. But here now has this unknown has come in, this variable that is now going to dictate probably when we're going to open or have students actually there. Social distancing will probably be a problem, or not, hopefully. We'll have more maybe virtual classes in the beginning, or not. So how can you talk about how this has impacted the timeline for building, as well as what you see coming down the road? If you know, not to put you on the spot, I know there are other players in this, and you are one piece of this puzzle. So if you could kind of expound how we're going forth with the campus when we have COVID-19 in the mix.
Sure. So we had an incredibly aggressive timeline for developing this campus before COVID-19 came along. And so our obligation to the state and the terms associated with the financial contribution that the state has made to this campus, we were on a trajectory where we have to open doors by fall 2024 for students. And we have to be able to scale to approximately 750 master's students and 125 PhD candidates annually in computer science and computer engineering by 2028. So that's a big commitment that the university made. It's one that we're moving and 100% committed to staying on schedule and on timeline with. And I really have to hand it to city staff because as COVID-19 came about, we didn't skip a beat. They were right there with us, and our partners at JBG Smith have been with us lockstep every way. And knock on wood, we haven't missed a single deadline. We're right on cue with where we expected to be. We hope to be before City Council for a final approval in October, and we're still marching towards that deadline with the goal, as you said, of breaking ground in 2021. For this upcoming fall semester, our graduate programs will be located in our Falls Church campus at the West Falls Church Metro stop. Virginia Tech has had a presence there at that campus since the early 90s. And so we have some added capacity there, and that's where programs will start growing, and then they'll migrate to Alexandria. Hopefully by the time we get to 2024, when doors open on the new campus, we will have found a cure to coronavirus, and it'll be a thing of the past. In the interim, if we don't find that cure in time, then we'll obviously have to make all the accommodations, and we'll have a couple of years under our belt to figure out what learning looks like in a new normal. I will say that since going back to my earlier point, Virginia Tech having a presence a little bit of everywhere in the Commonwealth, we have significant experience when it comes to distance learning and e-learning and the resources and the technological infrastructure to be able to support that. So the university has gone to great lengths to provide an experience for students during this challenging time so that they're getting the quality education that they paid for. And while nothing can replace being on campus, right, it has been a major effort.
So speaking toward virtual campuses and things like that, I know Alexandria City Public Schools and other private schools in Alexandria, of course, are dealing with this new thing called virtual learning, virtual classrooms. And lucky for us, being in Alexandria, we were one of the leaders in the region to get this up off the ground. As soon as doors were being shut, March 13th, the last day of school for a lot of kids. So here we are trying to find our way with that. And yet I also know that that Virginia Tech and Alexandria City Public Schools are really looking to do some partnerships where mentoring is concerned, apprenticeships. I didn't know if you could speak a little bit to that or not.
Sure. Yeah, no, we have a terrific relationship with Alexandria City Public Schools. They're an outstanding partner, given everything that we're trying to accomplish with the Innovation Campus, particularly in computer science and computer engineering. We recognize that we have to start working with our K through 12 systems and not just kids in high school. It has to start much, much earlier if we're going to get kids interested in those fields and get them to stick with it throughout their education. And so ACPS has been an outstanding partner in that with us. We have at our Falls Church campus a partnership with Qualcomm called Think a Bit Labs, which is geared towards 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders to bring them in and help them explore their interests and then talk about how computer science and computer engineering overlaps with those interests and how they should be talking to their parents and their teachers about their interests and where it might dovetail with some of these more technical fields. So it's really a fun opportunity. We've reached out to the leadership at Ferdinand T. Day and Cora Kelly, the city's 2 STEM elementary schools, and they're actually connected with our faculty to talk about some fun projects that they might be able to incorporate into the classroom. We've also made available to them resources through Virginia Tech, the opportunity for faculty and teachers to come to Blacksburg for a couple of days to interact and meet with faculty members and talk about ways they can boost their curriculum. And really what we're trying to do is recognize the great work that our ACPS teachers are already doing, and then figure out how Virginia Tech as a partner can complement and help them expand on the great work that they're already doing.
Well, that's great news to hear. I know that Brandy Salmon, I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Yes.
Brandy Salmon has been the managing director overseeing the founder. I shouldn't say founder, but the founding managing director of the Innovation Campus. But I also know that she will not be taking on the role of vice president of this establishment or executive director. Dr. Lance Collins, I believe, will be starting in August. So for as much as I know, and I hope to speak with Ms. Salmon at some point, another big fish, no pun intended. But she has been obviously a big part of this from the ground up, as honestly, when you came in, boots on the ground. So we have a new person coming in, Dr. Lance Collins, as vice president and executive director of the Innovation Campus. And I know, it's hard for personalities and ingenuity to fit a new concept. So, and I'm hoping to talk to him as well, but will he be bringing, how did that, I guess, go about getting him on board for August, and how is his outlook going to mesh with then the community that we have, as well as the education of Virginia Tech, as well as the region's education? There are a lot of course, very educated, highly educated people in this area. So what is he bringing to the table, I guess,
Sure.
in his new position here?
Sure. So let's talk about Brandy for just a second and go back to her. So she has been an outstanding managing director for the Innovation Campus, but when she took that job, she said it had to be on a temporary basis. Mm-hmm. So she was hired at Virginia Tech to lead a group within the university called LINK, which is designed to help corporate entities match up with our research units and individual researchers to help pair them together and chart a course forward. And she manages a team based in Blacksburg with a couple of folks located in other areas across the Commonwealth. And that's her day job. That's what she was hired to do. And she took on this added role to help stand up the Innovation Campus, all while living in Blacksburg, having 2 teenage daughters and a husband who actually works in Durham, North Carolina. So she was commuting up here by bus. Virginia Tech runs a bus twice a day from Blacksburg to our campus in Arlington. So she was doing the 4.5 hours each way, multiple times a week. And just thinking about her schedule was exhausting. So she was the main driver actually behind pushing the search forward to find that inaugural vice president and executive director, and is excited to be going back to her day job with Link and continuing to support the Innovation Campus and everything happening at Virginia Tech. And we're so fortunate to have Brandy as part of our team. And so flash forward then to Lance. So we worked with Korn Ferry to do an international search for this position, and it was whittled down in a matter of months. And Lance comes to us from Cornell University, where he is the dean of the College of Engineering. He was a founding leader in the Cornell Tech Project, which was developed in New York City on Roosevelt Island, and is in some respects similar to what we hope to accomplish with the Innovation Campus, just 5 or 6 years ahead. So he brings with him the technical expertise in computer science and computer engineering. He brings with him a tremendous background in academia, which is helpful when you're looking to recruit faculty to come to a startup project. But he's also been involved with Cornell Tech, which is the closest thing you can point to as a startup within a higher ed institution. And so he understands innovation and what that means within an academic context. And as you mentioned, he will be moving here August 1st. He will be based in Northern Virginia, hopefully in the city of Alexandria, if I have my way, but we'll see where he ends up. He'll be up here and a full-time resource. And so one of the other properties that will be coming online, we have rented the ground floor of the National Industries for the Blind building in Potomac Yard. That's currently, it was empty shell space. That's in the process of being built out, and that will be the headquarters for Lance while the Innovation Campus is being built, as well as his executive team. So we're fortunate in the short term to be growing our footprint even a little bit more within the city.
Oh, great. I can't wait to welcome him here. Very exciting news. Very exciting news. So some other exciting news. I know that from the beginning, when we were talking about, you basically infiltrating Alexandria's community engagement forum of this city, Port City Brewery and Tech on Tap, Virginia Tech, has had great info sessions over a few pints of beer. So can you tell us, I know there's one upcoming, tell us what you've done in the past. I know we've done robots and urban gardening, the rooftop gardens, which is great. And I think there's one coming up on just food and the chain of food and our agriculture programs at Virginia Tech, as well as how we can implement a lot of the farming in our state, in our Commonwealth, toward this. So take it away with Tech on Tap.
So Tech on Tap is a really fun project that we started to help bring some of our researchers out from Blacksburg, recognizing it's a long haul down 81 to get to Blacksburg, and not everybody's able to do it. Yeah. So we wanted to bring some of those researchers up here to Alexandria, bring them out into the community, again, focusing on our human-centric research. Have the opportunity for them to share with the community the great stuff, cutting edge stuff that they're doing, and then spend the bulk of the time focused on open-ended Q&A from the community about how this will affect their lives, the potential impact, where they see this industry going, so on and so forth. So we partnered with Port City Brewery. They've been an outstanding host for this event. We also have Alexandria Library and Alexandria Economic Development Partnership helping to support this effort. And so what started as an every other month event, free public community event at Port City in the evenings, in the world of COVID, has transformed into an online virtual session. So we started with programs focused on artificial intelligence, drones, and then autonomous cars. Sorry, I'm having electrical issues. And then COVID hit. So then we switched, quickly retooled to a virtual format. We're still lucky to have Port City and the library and AEDP as partners. Okay. And so we're now doing these online virtual events, the last one being on urban gardening for Earth Day, using some of our College of Agriculture experts. This next event coming up next on the 28th, next Thursday, will be focused on food. And so we have some really interesting researchers that are looking at food holistically and the impact COVID-19 has had on food. So we're hearing rumors right out in the press about supply chain disruption. Right. Is that really happening? Is that not really happening? Unfortunately, we have misinformation on this topic, like so many others, when it comes to the pandemic. We'll also be looking at food from the perspective of how the pandemic has affected the restaurant industry. And what will restaurants look like going forward, and what is some advice and what are the experts telling restaurants they should do going forward. And then we'll also have a panelist that'll really be focusing on us, the consumers. You know, now that so many of us are doing more cooking than we ever thought we were going to be doing, what are some fun ways we can think about food? What are some food preservation tips? Because I don't know about you, Amy, but when this first started happening, I would go out to the store and just buy a bunch of stuff. And 4 days later, I was throwing half of it away, unfortunately, because it had gone bad. So what are some smart tips we can be incorporating into our routine to make sure we're getting the most from our food and we're not wasting it? So that'll be a really fun program, 4 p.m., free event, May 28th.
How do people see it?
Sure. So you can find us on Facebook, search Virginia Tech on Facebook. You can also just Google Virginia Tech, Tech on Tap, and find it there. We have an Eventbrite page to register, and once you sign up, and just put in your name and email address, and the link will be sent to you to join us on the 28th.
That is great. Well, you know, I have to end with one more question. And
Sure.
That's, of course, around the motto of Virginia Tech. So I know as a Hokie, that motto has guided me through my life, that I may serve. So I guess I look at this, the Innovation Campus as a way to serve both businesses and education in different ways. But I also know that because you have been, you've been everywhere. I only know that because I'm usually everywhere. So that I see you are promoting Virginia Tech. So I also know that you've been involved in a lot of nonprofits, and Virginia Tech, of course, being a land grant university, and has a lot of they have a foundation, I know, themselves. So if you could speak a little bit about the Virginia Tech motto and how you, as well as the university in Northern Virginia here in the city of Alexandria, will be going forth with that motto in terms of how we're going to serve our community and our region with this Innovation Campus.
Sure. So that's a great question, and it's something that I find the most unique about Virginia Tech, that ut prosum, that I may serve motto. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the water in Blacksburg or what, but it's phenomenal to see the way people have embraced that mission. And Hokies who graduated just this past year, or Hokies that graduated 60 years ago, they are 100% committed to service, and it's the core of what they do. And I'm so glad to hear you talk about it and how it's influenced your life. We do so many great things as Hokies, and there's a real opportunity to continue some of the great things we're already doing here in the city of Alexandria, and a greater opportunity to expand on them. So as you mentioned, I now serve in my capacity on a number of nonprofit boards here in the city. I'm particularly proud of the work that Act for Alexandria has done, particularly around this COVID crisis and the funding they've raised. I'm also on the board of the Campagna Center, which is doing some outstanding work for our families here in the city, particularly those who are most in need of help and service. And the transition to online learning for young children is particularly challenging, and Campagna has stepped up in a huge way. And there are really so many other great nonprofits. It's part of what makes Alexandria unique and special. And as we grow our footprint here in the city of Alexandria, I think you'll see a lot more Hokies getting involved with different organizations. Mm-hmm. And part of my job right now is just trying to get out and understand who they are, where they are, what their needs are, so that as we bring in new staff and you start to see more Virginia Tech students walking the streets around Alexandria, we can find ways to plug them in because they're actively seeking out those opportunities. So as you may know, Amy, we have an event down in Blacksburg called The Big Event. Not a very original name. It's no Tech on Tap. But during that time, it's a one-day event where we have over 9,000 faculty, staff, and students descend on the city of Blacksburg to do a whole host of community service projects. It's a spring event. They do everything from helping senior citizens weed their yards and mow the lawn to painting schools and helping fix infrastructure down there in the city. It's a defining opportunity for Hokies, and they take advantage of it. And my hope is that once we get to scale up here in Northern Virginia, it's something we're able to bring up here and help this community with as well. But in the meantime, the handful of us that are here are doing as much as we possibly can to be everywhere and be as supportive as possible.
Well, that makes me proud, and I'm so happy to hear that. Well, I'll wrap it up here. I don't know if you want to add anything that we didn't cover.
No, this has been a great opportunity. Thank you so much for your interest, and I hope as people learn more about the Innovation Campus, please reach out and go to the Innovation Campus website. It should be included on the bottom of your screen, but it's www.vt.edu/innovationcampus. That can be your main source for news and information about the campus. If you live in the Potomac Yard community, we'll be doing a lot of outreach as we move into the construction phase of the campus. Obviously, we will do everything in our power to minimize the disruption and the impact while we're in the building phase. But if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And if you are a community member somewhere else in the city of Alexandria and you have a community event or a specific interest or question related to the campus, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. My email address is David, A as in Apple, B as in boy, the number 7, so davidab7 @vt.edu. So Amy, thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you, David. I appreciate you being here and taking the time. And Susan, I know, has joined us. So I again, thank you to the Zebra that you're making this time available for the community to hear the information that David was providing on Virginia Tech tonight. So again, look at www.vt.edu/innovation campus and get information there. And I'm sure his email is on there somewhere also. So I won't try to do that again. But no, Susan, I appreciate you. And of course, the executive producer, David McClure, who is behind the scenes now. But Susan, I'll let you take it away. But thank you very much for having both of us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Amy. Thank you so much for coming on. And David Baker, thank you so much. That was a lot of information about some really exciting developments. And I did not go to Virginia Tech, but there's obviously, this is Hokie country up here. There's a lot, I mean, you can see why people are so passionate and so loyal to Virginia Tech. It's a world-class organization. And as you can see from everything David told us, they just are top-notch. They bring a professionalism and a real sense of purpose to everything they do. So I think everybody is really looking forward to the new Innovation Campus up here. So Amy, thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Well, that's going to wrap up tonight's edition of our ZTV live show. Tomorrow night, we'll have Roberta Cullen of Alexandria Children's Theater joining us with some tips, tricks, and new games and ideas maybe to engage your children in creative play and learning, which may come in handy, especially heading into the 3-day weekend, although it seems like we're all on a big, long 3-day weekend lately. Also tomorrow night, we'll have the return of our Out and About with Lucelle segment. And Lucelle O'Flaherty will be here talking about some free masks that were given to those in need by Yates Dry Cleaning, who's always such a wonderful community supporter. And also how restaurants like Chadwick's are preparing meals and pairing them with hospital employees to meet those needs. So we'll have a fun show again tomorrow night, and I hope that you'll join us. In the meantime, if you have any stories of good news or acts of kindness that you'd like to share with our viewers and our Zebra community, please don't hesitate to let us know. Send an email to editor@thezebrapress.com or send us a message on our Facebook page. And until then, enjoy the rest of your day and be the good news in someone's life.